Hey everybody, it's 3 p.m. and it's time for dinner with Nanny Bubby, and we are talking about building confidence in the kitchen and about how building confidence in the kitchen actually builds confidence in your everyday life. I'm back from the high holidays and I'm so happy to be here on this Friday. Today I'm making sheet pan chicken, and it's a dish that we've made before. But we're just adding a few things to it that needed to get out of my refrigerator and into the oven so that they didn't go by the wayside. So happy to have everybody here joining us. So let's talk about something we talked about on Wednesday before I left for the high holidays, which is how building your confidence helps in whatever it is that you're doing in your life. So I made the unique comparison or analogy that if you have a big job interview next week or tomorrow, as an example, that one of the best things you can do for yourself is actually cook, because cooking brings you into the present moment, which is a fabulous thing. You know, if you're thinking too much about the past, it can cause depression. If you think too much about the future, it can cause anxiety. When you are in the present moment, hey, Matt Shanker, nice to see you. When you are in the present moment, you are in harmony, you're grounded, you're in the groove. And that is what we intend to help everybody get to. It's the purpose that I have for my life, is to help everybody through cooking gain confidence. So let's talk about what we're cooking today. We are cooking chicken thighs, sheet pan chicken thighs that are going to go in the oven with bok choy, with zucchini, ginger, miso, which is still in the refrigerator. I forgot to grab that out. Um, and let's see, what else have we got? Scallions and garlic, mustard. So we've got a few things that we're going to put all together into this mixture. And we're going to take a minute. We're going to take a deep breath in and out. Hey, Frank, I was wondering when you were going to get here. It's not Nanny Bubby's time until Frank shows up. So good to have you, Frank. Frank is just one of our loyal viewers, and so happy to have him here. So let's get into the present moment. Deep breath in. Let's think slowly about what we're doing. So I want to make sure that we have all of our ingredients in front of us. Right now, I am peeling the ginger because we are going to grate it into this wonderful mixture that we're making. So I have to grab two things. You know, when I take a deep breath, just like you, and calm down and think about what I'm doing, which brings me into the present moment, then I think to myself, okay, I need to pull out the miso from the refrigerator. I need to pull out a mixing bowl, probably a nice whisk to mix it all up with. See this? You've got these little legs on ginger, so you want to just make sure that you grate them, and you want to go slowly, because if you don't go slowly, you're going to grate your thumb, your thumbnail, your knuckle, or worst case, get your nail polish. Okay, so I think that's going to be enough ginger for this recipe. So since I just calmed myself and realized that I forgot the mixing bowl and the miso, let me just take a minute and grab that. Of course, you can still hear me because I have my AirPods on. And as I grab these things that I need, and we will get started. So I took the liberty of blotting the chicken thighs. So let me just show these to you. I have these fabulous, they were really nice and meaty today. These are chicken thighs, skin on, bone in, and I have blotted them dry the skin so it gets nice and crispy. The other side I have already salt and peppered. I've already turned them, washed my hands nice and clean so that I would be able to go through the rest of this recipe with you without having to worry too much about what I'm touching and what I'm not touching. So always start with a recipe, even if it's your own recipe, even if it's a family recipe that you've cooked 100 times. The worst thing that can happen is that you're not in the present moment. You start thinking about something else, and then you leave like the main ingredient out. I did this the other day when I was making challah with my granddaughter. We made beautiful challah for Rosh Hashanah, and I could hardly wait to bite into it, and I bit into it, and it was terrible. And it looked beautiful, obviously, because I was very focused on putting the apples and the honey and the raisins. There was something very wrong with that challah. And finally, after biting into it 3 times, my daughter said, "Mom, there's no salt in this recipe." And of course, as you know, I always double the salt, but somehow, because I wasn't in the present moment, because I wasn't following the recipe to a T, even though it's my own recipe, I left the salt out. So that's why it's very, very important that you stay very focused, that you stay calm, that you take a deep breath. And this kind of confidence, learning to be centered like this in the kitchen, will help you in every other area in your life. As an example, tomorrow, if you're having a job interview, if suddenly you start racing, your heart starts racing, if you could just bring yourself back to the deep breath you took before you started cooking and how it worked for you, your intuition, your instincts will take over and you'll get back to it. So first thing we're going to do is take 4 scallions, which I have already washed, and we're going to chop them up, and we are going to sprinkle them. Let's see. We're going to combine the scallions, mustard, ginger, garlic, miso, and sugar. I'm not using sugar. I'm actually going to be using stevia. So, hey, Felicia, I think I just saw you pop in there. So good to have you. So let's take these scallions, and there we go. We've got the mixing bowl right here, ginger over here. We're just going to take these little ends off that started to expand. I've already washed and cleaned this. I have a little compost bowl over here. Hey, Dawn Winderman, which is not, I think, Dawn. So is it Joanne or is it Dawn who is joining us today? Joanne told me that she and her husband share a Facebook page. So even though it says Dawn, it's actually Joanne. So let me welcome Joanne, not to insult Dawn in case he happens to be here too. Okay, there we go. And Felicia is here. And let's see who else shows up. But in the meanwhile, let's start chopping and doing. Again, I'm making these chicken thighs, bone-in, skin-on chicken thighs. And they're nice and meaty and quite big today at Whole Foods. I was so happy to see them. I have 9 of them because I think the family may be stopping by. We are both here. Okay, very good. Hello, Dawn and Joanne. You could rename that page Dawn and Joanne, you know. Maybe you don't want to, but just in case, you could actually very easily go in and rename it. I'm going to take the rest of this and into the compost basket there. Okay, let's get these scallions in. And the very next thing that we are going to put in is mustard. So it calls for a tablespoon of 3 tablespoons of Dijon mustard. So let's get that in. So I eyeball this because I am going to use my instincts and my intuition. Also, if you happen to like the flavor of the, hi Joanne Dominguez, nice to see you. Amundsen, nice to see you. There's 1, 2, 3, just a little more. You know, and I do it in like 3 different lumps so that I like, oh, that's a tablespoon, that's a tablespoon, that's a tablespoon. So 3 tablespoons of that. We're going to put in 2 tablespoons of minced garlic. So I think, well, let's start with the fresh ginger first, and let's get that all minced up. So here is the garlic. If you came on right when I came on, I was grating or skinning basically the ginger with my potato peeler here. We peeled that skin right off the ginger, and now we are going to mince it. So let's see. There's all different kinds of ways to do this, but I think we're just going to go right on top like this. I know Frank has always said to do it the other way so it doesn't fall out. So if you do it this way, all of the mincing goes into the top, then you can turn it and you don't use anything. The problem is that for some reason with ginger, I can do it that way with everything else, but not with ginger. So Patty Keneally is here. Let's see, I don't think anybody has come on since I noticed. So we're going to do it the opposite way that Frank thinks is good. I think for doing citrus, it works the other way when you're just wanting to zest. But in this case, we're actually grating this ginger. Now, one of the things I love about this recipe is that it utilizes flavors that my family is actually not used to eating. So, as an example, the ginger, the miso, the scallions, and even the bok choy, which we're going to put in just a minute. But I am going to show you something about the bok choy. It's very hard to clean bok choy. And as you know, those of you who have been joining me for quite some time, I'm very adamant about food grade hydrogen peroxide and cleaning the bok choy. Um, and I prefer, there we go, look at all that came out. That's a lot of ginger here. So let me just finish this up. Is that the way to get bok choy clean is because it's layered, is actually to soak it in water and with the food grade hydrogen peroxide in the water, and that way you're actually getting in between the leaves. So I'll show you that in just a minute. I'm going to use just a little bit more. The great thing about this is, listen, it's Friday. All of us are tired, right? And it's nice to either, Friday tends to be a day where you put all your energy into what you're cooking and make the biggest dinner of the week on Friday or Sunday, one or the other. Or Friday is just, what can I do that gives an ease to myself in terms of what I'm making and also what I'm cleaning up. And so to add that ease, I think the foundation of sheet pan dinners is just an amazing, amazing idea. And so after my week with the holiday and everything else, I am definitely opting for something that has some ease to it. So scraping the skin off ginger with a teaspoon works well also. You know, I saw that technique. I have to tell you, Joanne and Dawn, I saw that technique of scraping it with either a salad fork or a spoon, and honestly did not work for me. So I think my potato peeler is just a look at all that's in there. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. There we go. So I'm just going to use the ginger itself to scrape it out. There we go. And so I've opted for the potato peeler. Using this as a scraper was not a good idea, but my pinky finger always works in those grooves. There we go. So the thing about cooking is that it provides us with a lot of different things. Number one, everybody has to eat. Number two, when we are standing, and those of us that are in the kitchen and preparing the meal, and even those maybe that are upstairs doing whatever it is that they're doing, they are smelling what is being prepared. And I always make the case for the fact that right now I'm smelling this ginger, and the digestive juices of my body are being signaled by what it is that I am making. And so my body now is having a chance to prepare for this herb that is going to be, or spice, I guess, basically, the spice that is going to be coming into my body. And so, you know, a lot of people like, you know, Pepsid, this, that, and the other, but you really will use less of your Pepsid and all your other things if you give your body a chance to actually be prepared for what it's going to eat. So as an example, if you drive through the drive-through, you get what you need, and all of a sudden it's in your car and you're driving, you have not given your body an ample time of opportunity to begin its digestive process. And believe it or not, the digestive process begins right as the smells and preparation from your kitchen begin. So that's one of the other reasons that you want to try to cook everything that you can. Now, we all need, here's just a little more ginger. I can't get away with the ginger. I'm going to grate it down to its very end here. But that's one of the reasons why taking the time to cook in your kitchen is healthy for you and healthy for your family, certainly healthy for your children. If they're upstairs doing their homework and they smell the smells that are coming at dinner, that is a very good thing for their digestive system. So, okay, here we go. There we are. So how many of you went to peltierwine.com, put in the discount code PW25, got 25% off your order? I hope you all did that. That was a really, really great interview that we did on Tuesday. Was it Tuesday? It was Tuesday. The wines, I can tell you from my point of view here, they truly, truly were good. I am a very picky wine drinker, and I was quite delighted at how delicious they were. So I think you can still see my bowl. I've got these garlics. What I'm going to do, let me set this just off to the side so you can see it. I'm going to smash this garlic. Let me take just a little bit. If you can see behind me, I have this fabulous heirloom. It's a pumpkin squash, so it's just all bumpy and all googly. It's just beautiful. Some sunflowers back there. Can you hear me gulping because of the AirPods? All right, so next is the 2 tablespoons of minced garlic. So we can do 2 things with this garlic. We can either, mince it right here on the cutting board, or I can shave it right on that zester. And I think I'll just chop it instead of actually grating it. So we'll mince it with a knife. That smells so good. Here we go. Just let's get all the skin off. Do I still have something in my hair? I hope not. So we started talking about a contest for the coming fall. Let's see. Scraping the skin off ginger. Yep, I already read that part. Okay, we're up to speed. Patty Keneally's here. I think I've already said that. So believe it or not, Nanny Bubby will be here for 1 year starting in October. I think it's like around October 8th, maybe around October 15th. I'm going to have to take a look. But we will be celebrating the 1 year anniversary of Nanny Bubby live on Facebook in October. And in honor of that, I really would love to have a contest of everybody to post and gather with Nanny Bubby, maybe your very favorite idea or moment from the show. So I'd like to actually have 2 contests. We are posting our favorite fall meal in Gather with Nanny Bubby, and I would love to know what your favorite show might have been over the last year. I think that could be so fun. And we will, if you post and Gather with Nanny Bubby, we will pull your name out of put your name into a hat, and we will pull the name out. Oh, Brenda's here. Congrats on your 1 year anniversary. You've given us so much. Thank you, Brenda. Very nice of you. Nice to see that you're here. So yeah, I can't believe it's been 1 year. It was a challenge. I had no idea how long I was going to do it, but I'm here. I'm still here. It became certainly a blessing during the pure shutdown time, and I really appreciated very much that I've made so many new and great friends that are here. So I want to make sure as I talk that we talk about your confidence building, because let me just tell you, if I'm right here right now and I'm mincing this garlic, and I need to mince it nice and small, that as I am doing this, other than the fact that I am talking to all of you, I really cannot take my mind off of this, because if I do, I'm going to lose a finger, or I maybe make it too big, maybe make it too small, it starts to liquefy. So one of the things we want to do when we are cooking is we want to make sure that we are staying in the present moment. And this lesson about being in the present moment helps you no matter where you are. So as I said, if you are online dating and finally after meeting somebody online, you've decided to meet in person, then here's my suggestion to you. Number 1, if you cook your meal the night before, you're going to feel better about yourself because you will eat healthy things. You won't just run through and get something just to get through it. You'll have less inflammation in your body, therefore you will feel better. So that's number 1. That's the first part of your confidence building, is how you feel. And then number 2, as you go through this, as you take a deep breath and you stay in the present moment, you begin to rely on your instincts. As an example, I said, I need to slow down. I need to really focus on this garlic so it's the right size. That's an instinct. And then my intuition may say, you know what? I either need a little more garlic or I need less garlic, or my garlic is just right? Just like the three little bears. Um, you know, just like Baby Bear says, this chair is just right. Okay, this garlic is in fact just right. Okay, there we go. Let me get the rest of this garlic. Let me see what Frank has just said. I'm glad I met Nanny Bubby and cooked on your show, and thank you. You're very welcome. It has always been a pleasure to have you, Frank, and I look forward to you being here every single day. If you are not here, and Roseanne is not here, and Judy's not here, and Teresa's not here, and so many other people who show up every day, I feel like my best friends are missing. So thank you so much for being here. Let's see, I've got Mia Camargo is here. So thank you, Mia, for being here. So nice to see you. Okay, there we go. All right. So now, let's see. The next thing we want to do is we're going to add about a teaspoon of white miso paste, which I have right here. Oh, this is brand new. Let me get this open. Here we go. Where is Teresa today? Where is Judy today? Where is Roseanne? Oh, there's Roseanne. Roseanne, you're here. Late but here. That's great. So Roseanne, since you just got here, I don't know if you heard me say this, but Nanny Bubby's going to be on the air for 1 year. Starting sometime in October. I've got to go back to the very first episode of Nanny Bubby and see what day that was. And I better hurry up because I'm not sure how long Facebook actually holds all of this information. But I believe it was somewhere between the 8th and the 15th, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it was October 28th. But I'd really like to have just a contest. Everybody posting and gather what your favorite Nanny Bubby episode might have been or recipe might have been. Excuse me while I get a spoon here. And whoever posts what their favorites are, of course, we can go ahead and put their names in a hat. And we will draw, and whoever wins that will get a gift from Nanny Bubby and maybe be able to come on and make your recipe with me. That will be absolutely fabulous. I love that. And we're also having another contest with post your favorite fall recipes. So maybe your favorite Nanny Bubby episode was a fall recipe. Okay, so we've got that, and now we are going to put in a tablespoon. So this calls for brown sugar, which I'm not a big fan of, but I do have chocolate, believe it or not, chocolate stevia. And I think that will do as a good substitute. It is in a little dropper, and I'm just going to go ahead and drop that in. I think just a little bit of sweetness in here doesn't hurt. Okay, and now let's make sure we've got it all. Garlic, miso, brown sugar, kosher salt and pepper, and a little bit of olive oil. So let's put the salt. Here we go. So if you'd like to reach out to Nanny Bubby, you can go to my bio on Instagram, and you can book a 30-minute discovery call with me to talk about, number one, either building confidence in the kitchen or using the kitchen and using cooking to build confidence in the other areas of your life. It's kind of a combo, which is very, very interesting, even for me, to realize that for me, cooking began at maybe one of the darkest hours of my life, and it totally was something that gave me a rebirth. So let me just find my olive oil here. Here we go. And I'm going to put 8 tablespoons. Let's see, rim baked toss bok choy. Let's see, 6 tablespoons of the oil and mix well. So let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, there we go. And we will use the rest of that oil. Okay, there we go. And so this kind of liquefies this. This is really nice. So let me grab these directions, because I believe what we're going to do is we are going to literally paint this Hi, Susie. Nice to have you here. Don't worry about being late. Everybody has a life. The only person who cannot be late is me, right? Because you all depend on me to be here at 3 o'clock. Okay, so let's see. On a rimmed baking sheet, toss the bok choy with the remaining 2 tablespoons of oil and season with salt and pepper, then spread in an even layer. Let me see. On a rimmed half teaspoon pepper. This recipe came right out of the New York Times. I've adjusted it. So in a small bowl combined, we did and mix well. On a rimmed baking sheet, toss the bok choy with remaining 2 tablespoons of oil and season with salt and pepper. Then spread in even layers. Season chicken with salt and pepper and arrange on top of bok choy. And rub the chicken all over with the scallion mustard marinade. Okay, that's where it is. Sorry. Sometimes as I always say, sometimes I've made this a dozen times. But let's put this aside and let me bring you over here. Actually, I'm not going to move it aside. I'm going to leave it there. And I'm going to bring all of you over here like this. So let's turn this like this. You can probably see that. Let me keep this from falling off. Okay. Can you see this bok choy? What I want to tell you is that I've literally taken the food grade hydrogen peroxide, sprayed it into this bowl, and I've let this soak. Now, the reason that I've let it soak is because these bok choy leaves are very hard to get into, and you really want to clean them, and it's very difficult to get them clean unless you literally take them all apart, which on some level we're going to do as we chop them up. But so right now we're going to take them out of here. I have the zucchini in there as well. Now when you roast bok choy literally cooks down to practically nothing. So that's why I have quite a bit. So I believe that this zucchini came right out of Nanny Bubby's garden, which I love using that. Okay, so here is, we're rinsing off the zucchini, get all that food grade hydrogen peroxide off, and we'll put this over here, and now we're going to get back to this bok choy. There we go. So let's just, we may just have to take it off leaf by leaf, just open them up. Make sure you get in there. Make sure you get them all rinsed out. The deeper in you go, the more clean they are. So there we go. The older leaves have got marks on them, as you can see, but it's not dirt. It's just markings. Do the same thing here. But the fact that these had a chance to soak actually helps them get real nice and clean. Now, this bok choy did not come out of my garden, which is why I went ahead and put the food grade hydrogen peroxide on it. When things come out of my garden, I just rinse them in water. So there we go. Okay. There we go. All right. Now we're going to take this bowl, because what we've done with this is we've had the opportunity to use this bowl to actually, it's such a big, beautiful bowl, and we're going to put the bok choy and the zucchini into this bowl, and then we're going to toss it with the olive oil, salt, and pepper, and spread it all out onto the cookie sheet. So let me grab some more paper towels. Let me just turn you around here. That's a tight shot, isn't it? Okay, there we go. There you go. All right, so what we want to do, let me set this over here for now, and let me bring the cutting board right over here, get everything off of there. And what we're going to do is we are going to, there we are. Okay, very good, Susie. I'm happy to know you fasted. Okay, so here we go. Let's give these a nice blotting. And there we go. So we'll start, make sure it's all nice and dried off. And we're just going to take off the stem, throwing this right in here. And then we're just going to cut right down through this. Nice, like maybe 1-inch pieces. Now, as I mentioned, bok choy really cooks down very small. It's got a lot of water inside of it. So there's a lot of bok choy in here. My experience from last time that I made it is that I limited how much I put in, and believe it or not, I was somewhat disappointed because when it was all done, it's like, where's the vegetables, Mom? Where is the meat? So we eat a lot of green leafy vegetables. Bok choy is a great vegetable to eat. It's got a lot of really good flavor, and I love eating things and getting used to eating things that culturally I'm not quite used to. So it's really great. So let's see here. Let's just cut through this, get it right into the bowl. We will toss it. There we go. We also have some zucchini. Now the recipe does not call for zucchini, but again, these are a couple of things that were in my fridge that I felt like, number one, zucchini, unless you've let it dry, really cooks down. You lose more than half of its volume. And I really want the opportunity to cook a lot of vegetables along with this chicken. I spread 9 pieces of chicken out over 2 sheet pans, 4 on one, 5 on the other. Okay, here we go. Just slicing away. Okay, so how many of you have a favorite show? Anybody? Brenda said, as you talk out loud through your steps, it helps us gain insight and gain confidence when we do it ourselves. Well, good. I hope I'm doing that. Okie doke. Here we go. So just drying off the area, drying off the zucchini, and also the bok choy. So sometimes you can see there's a stem right in the middle, so I tend to cut that off. I really have to get a fabulous compost bin because in doing so, I mean, it just kills me to throw all of this away day after day after day when I could be putting this and making the most fertile soil ever. Although I do not have problems with my soil. That is for sure. My soil puts out a good amount of vegetables that make me very proud. Okay, so we're almost through it all. As you can see, I've gone ahead and put it all right into this very big bowl right here, trying to keep the view where you can see both of these. Let me get this here. Hey, Susan Mendorf, nice to have you here. So there we go. Okay, who's got big plans this weekend? I have the plans to get caught up. I'm telling you, with the 2 Jewish holidays, I just have gotten behind, and on life and on everything else that's been going on. So I spent a great deal of time today out trying to get things managed. I have to get a new soft water unit, my 3rd one. I'm in levels of 3 these days, but Home Depot, God bless them, are giving me a credit on my old one. And even though it's way past its warranty, but it's definitely defective. So they're giving me a brand new one. And thank you for that, Home Depot, literally. So here we go, just cutting just some more. Looks like a lot of vegetables, but as I said, this will all cook down quite a bit. So our last bok choy, getting the big stem out of the way. I like these in about 1-inch pieces. There we go. All right. There we go. Okay. Well, it certainly does look like a lot, but I can promise you that what ends up happening here is that it is very, very, this will cook down to half its volume. So let's grab a little bit of this olive oil. Let's go ahead and sprinkle about 2 tablespoons on there. Here we go. I think that feels right. We'll do a little bit of salt and pepper, which also helps it lose most of its water because it is mostly water. And here we go. Here comes a little bit of salt. There we go. And a little bit of pepper. So make sure that you go ahead and you post in Gather 2 things: your favorite fall recipe, just that you do on your own, and your favorite Nanny Bubby show or recipe over the last year. And we'll get this party started. I'm sure right after we're done with this one, Wisconsin cheese is going to be back, I think, in November. So that will be good. We'll have another Wisconsin cheese contest, which everybody loved. Everybody loved that one. Okay, so I'm just going to toss this. That's why I love this bowl. Just tossing this all over. Okay, that's it. So here we go. I'm going to set this aside. I am going to bring the first tray of chicken. There we go. And I am going to take the mixture, and we are going to, I'm just going to take, as much as I hate to touch the chicken, I am going to do it because then I'll just be washing, but I'm going to literally kind of stack this on top of each other. And again, this is a place where maybe instincts come together. I want to be able to lay the chicken out on the bed of this. So this is falling just a little bit. So my intuition is this would actually be better because the juices are going to literally be able to get into all of this. So now I'm going to take this chicken, set it on top just like this. Okay. I was going to go the other way with it all, but I changed my mind, which you can see. So, okay, let me take this. So now I did not season the top of the chicken. Let's get a little bit of salt and pepper on the chicken. There we go. Again, the higher you hold your seasoning from what you're seasoning, the more evenly it seasons, especially with pepper. You want to really give that height so that you can get a good even cover on it. There we go. Okay, and now the best part. Ready? Here comes, let me push this just a little bit towards you. Push you a little away from me so you can see it all. Now this just looks beautiful. I mean, look at how gorgeous this is. And we're just going to paint this scallion mustard, about a tablespoon on each piece of chicken. What's going to happen is that all of the juices from this beautiful chicken are going to now blend down and get right into the vegetables. Look how beautiful that is. I mean, this is definitely a Friday night chicken with a little bit of a twist, right? An Asian twist to it. Flavors that you're not used to having. Oh my God, it smells heavenly. And as I said, the best way to feel good about yourself, your body, to have confidence if you're doing anything tomorrow that's important, is to eat something tonight that makes you feel good, that you have cooked so your digestive juices have had time to work as you're putting it together. This tomorrow morning, you'll wake up and say, I feel better. I have more confidence because I know I ate healthy and I ate my own cooking, because you know what you put into your cooking. So here you go. Just spread this all around. Okay, and there, my dear friends, is the very first sheet pan. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at how beautiful this is. Hey, Arlene, nice to see you. There we go. There we go. Okay, look how beautiful. We'll put this aside. Now this is going to roast in the oven at 425 degrees for about, I think, 40 minutes. Let's see what it says. About 30 minutes it says. So let me stack these again so I can pour the rest of these vegetables onto the sheet pan. There we go. So So just spread them out. That's great. And we'll just nestle the chicken right into the middle of this. Just pour it aside here. Get this one in. As I said, I haven't actually seasoned. I did season the underside of the chicken, so when I stacked them, the underside seasoning did get on top, but never fear. A little more salt and pepper never hurt anybody or anything, right? There we go. Okay, putting that into the sink to be washed since my hands have touched the chicken, which I hate doing, but I changed my technique there at the last minute. Okay, there we go. What you don't want to do is put your hand into that salt and re-season it unless you're going to take the salt and throw it away. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab this wonderful marinade that I made, seasoning that's going to go right on top of this like this. Now we may have some left over, we may not, I don't know. But what we're going to do is if we do have leftover, we can make a little chicken salad tomorrow, which with these different flavorings on it, which are just absolutely fantastic. We can make sort of a chicken niçoise if we feel like it. We can just come in and make a green salad and just eat it cold or reheat it. And let me just toss this a little bit. And let me give my hands a quick rinse. And Frank said he got a cheese sock, no pun intended, from Wisconsin cheese, which is very cute. Okay, and there we go, everybody. And that is the end. Okay, anybody, let's see. Anybody have any questions before we say goodbye and wish everybody a happy weekend? Thank you so much for joining us. I love it. Remember to go to Nanny Bubby, or excuse me, go to Gather with Nanny Bubby and just post whatever your favorite episode was, and also what your very favorite fall meal is. I'd love to see that. We can have so much fun over the next couple of weeks, and I wish you all a great Saturday and Sunday. I'll be back on Monday. No more holidays for me. Unless you've got a holiday, then I've got a holiday. But I know these were very specific to me and my culture and my people. So anyway, if you're not one of them, thank you for your understanding, your patience, and for all the good wishes that you sent to me. In the count of three, everybody, 1, 2, 3, go out and spread love like butter. Bye, everybody. See you next week.